Imagine a world of silence. A world where the music passes right through you. The only words you hear are cuttingly blunt. So instead, you stop listening. You're being consumed by your own thoughts. Thoughts so dark, so jumbled that anyone would recoil in horror. Imagine a world of darkness. A world where the light scatters across your frame. You're slowly fading away. With each lingering stare, each frown, each person who slowly backs away from you, shielding their child as they do so, you are sucked even deeper into this endless abyss. Imagine a world where you only have one goal. It's hard to imagine because we all have so many aspirations for the future, but what if? What if getting a good grade on a test, or securing a good job, or even mustering the courage to talk to your crush, none of that mattered anymore? What if your soul has been stripped bare, and if there is only one thing that remains? Freedom. That's all you want. To pull away the physical, metaphorical iron bars that surround you, to step out. To peel away the scars that make you stand out like a sore thumb, while others want to be unique. You pray so hard to blend in. What would it be like? Every year, 20% of adults will be diagnosed with a mental illness. This can range from non-psychotic disorders like anxiety, depression, drug, tobacco addiction, to psychotic diseases like schizophrenia, personality disorders. 45% of all people on Earth will be diagnosed with a mental illness in their lives. This is compared to 38.5% of people who will be diagnosed with cancer. Not to downplay the significance of cancer or anything, but just trying to give you some point of comparison. Mental illness is more prevalent than cancer, but it receives so much less coverage and education. I'm sure all of you know of sociopathy or psychopathy from all those like detectives like Sherlock, but do you actually know what the disorder is? What it does? Not only that, but mentally ill patients are constantly being mocked for their conditions. How many times have you walked down the corridor and heard someone yelling, "Are you autistic?" at their friend? Maybe it's rude to you. Maybe you frowned in disgust and commented quietly that autism is not supposed to be a joke. But to them, there is nothing wrong. Those people are different, and they deserve to be taunted for it. The emotional turmoil that mentally ill patients go through is often aggravated by how society treats them. I have watched disappointed as commuters shun students in special needs uniforms, or taking a white circle around them, or just frowning, tusking. Granted, we want to protect ourselves. But often, a single gesture or slight change in facial expression can open up a gaping hole in these people's hearts. A hole that they have been trying so hard to patch. You may not know, but they are painfully aware of their difference. In fact, some of the patients I've worked with can recite the pathology of their diseases so much more fluently than a doctor. Then again, how can they not know when others make it so hard for them to ignore it? Some of you may know that I volunteer on an online therapy site called 7 Cups, where we provide emotional support to people in need of someone to talk to. There I met an amazing strong girl who told me what it was like living with severe social anxiety and mild schizophrenia. She says that above everything else, she's scared people will notice. She says, and I quote, "Friends and family will realize I am not the smart and happy girl they think I am, and they will turn away. I struggle on a daily basis because I am so afraid they will stop loving me." This is what the stigma against mental illnesses does. Fear eats away at their insides until there are nothing left but bones. Fear controls them and puts them on autopilot, does whatever it wants. Sometimes, fear causes them to claim their own lives. Without all that being said, it is not too late to turn back. In fact, I believe all of you can make a difference today, really. So I ask two things of you. Two things that may be the most insignificant things that you can do. It's like effortless for you to do, but it can draw the path between life and death for someone else. Number one, stop using mental disorders as a joke. Your friend is not autistic just because he made a lame joke. And just because a lecture is boring does not make you want to kill yourself. If you hear friends or family saying these things, tell them to stop. Explain to them that every day thousands of people struggle with these problems. It's not just insensitive to say it, you don't deserve to say it because you can barely begin to understand their pain. Number 2, stop avoiding them. I know some of you don't mean to, and maybe you don't know how to approach them, but I promise these people are in fact some of the purest and kindest people you can ever meet. A simple smile, a hello, a how do you do, even a hug in times of need can be the make or break element in their lives. Empathize, don't sympathize. To end off, I have a quote by Rupi Kaur, a famous Canadian poet. She says, "From every wound, there is a scar, and every scar tells a story that says I have survived, and here you are living, despite it all." We are all warriors, we all have scars, we're all shaped by different experiences in our histories. It's time to embrace everyone's history. So join me today, fight against the stigma of mental illnesses, speak up against it. After all, in a dark, silent world, you only need one voice and one candle to bring joy and happiness. Thank you.